So, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to talk about a person that's been on YouTube for years, actually, under the handle Prophet of Truth. And this guy, he was the person that's the suspect of the alleged shooting in New York. So everyone knows the story to that. If you don't know, maybe you haven't heard anything about it because maybe you could be from a different country. So the man's name is Frank James. You know, he was 62 years old, and he was arrested for the New York subway shooting. Okay, now he definitely have a lengthy criminal history. So he talked about violence. I mean, yes, in his YouTube videos, he was really open about talking about violence and mass shootings, that he's posted to YouTube. And he had posted one as recently as Monday. Now, they said the NYPD said that he was the suspect behind the shooting that left 10 people with gunshot wounds, 19 other people injured in Brooklyn. They say police believe none of the wounded have life-threatening injuries. He's charged with violating a law that prohibits terror and other violent attacks against mass transportation system. I say, according to the U.S. Attorney of the Eastern District of New York, it said the motive behind the shooting is still unknown. Now, it said he has been linked to rambling videos posted on YouTube. It said that has since been removed. A screenshot of one of the videos was used by the NYPD Crime Stoppers flyer. It's seeking information about the shooting. That's in one video. They say he posted a City of New York ID card, they say, from a past educational training program. Now, he was known, they said, to the New York City authorities before Tuesday's incident. They say he had 9 prior arrests in the city dating from 1992 to 1998 for offenses including burglary, possession of burglary tools, a criminal violation act, it said, and theft of service. And they said the NYPD chief of detectives said Wednesday. They said he also been arrested 3 times in New Jersey in 91, 92, and 2007 for trespassing, said larceny and disorderly conduct. They said, however, it said he had no previous felony convictions, so he was able to purchase a firearm. Now, they talked about the videos, and it's a reason why I'm covering this, and I'm gonna go into the videos because it's something I need to say here about some things even I see here on the platform. Because this guy was on this platform spewing this for a while, okay? And he's not the only one, but let me continue. So they say in many of the videos that he posted to YouTube, they say included references, they say of, definitely open violence, including a set of, a group of people that he believed treated in wrongs, in addition to a broader society and racial groups that he appeared to have an issue with. Now, it's a YouTube spokesperson confirmed Wednesday the channel had been removed according to its creator responsibility guidelines, and the platform is prominently servicing videos from authoritative sources and searching recommendations. Now, what that means is that creator responsibility guidelines, so you can get your channel taken down for something that you do off platform, right? So he didn't have any copyright strikes. So he didn't have any community guideline strikes, but because of what he did in the media, and it makes YouTube look bad, they just took your channel down. That's basically what they did with him. And he talking about authoritative sources. Now, what they mean by that, okay, is they're going to put all the videos at the front that comes from the mainstream media and not independent creators. Well, you could be a few creators are in that unspoken program. But every time I press YouTube about what's the guidelines for the program, they can never give me a answer. But I can tell when someone's in it based on just the way the viewership works for that particular channel. People like the Young Turks, they're in that program, for instance. I think as of recent, they just put your boy Boulay Martin in there too. After BNC went down, I noticed that he kind of got in that program, because before Boulay Martin couldn't even get 100 views on a video. And all of a sudden he's getting 100,000, millions of views now. Like I knew they put him in that program, but that's part of the system. It is what it is. Now continuing, they said that they analyzed videos that posted his account before it was taken down. Said in what appears the last video Monday, he talked about someone who engaged in violence and ended up in jail. He said he could identify, but talked about the consequences. He said, I've been through a lot of, ish. He said, where I can say I wanted to, he wanted to hurt people. That's for sure. He said he wanted to watch people, pass away right in front of his MF face immediately. He said, but I thought about the fact that, hey, man, I don't want to go to no effing prison. See, this guy was saying this before he did it. Okay. You have a lot of people on this platform, ladies and gentlemen, who are certified crazy, to be honest with you, who are deranged. And this guy, the reason why he didn't come underneath the radar of YouTube is because his channel only had, like they said, like 300 subscribers. So if you're a bigger channel, of course, they're watching you a lot harder. And say, when you have the smaller channels, that's the people that the people they need to watch even more because they get away with a lot more. Okay. So it's in one video, is he posted online in February. He criticized the plan by New York City Mayor Eric Adams to address safety and homelessness in the subway as part of the expanded presence of mental health professionals. He say his recording, he said that the new effort was doomed to fail and described its own negative experience of city health workers during the crisis of mental health back in the 90s, 80s, and 70s. This man admitted multiple times in videos that I heard them. He admitted that he had PTSD. He said it multiple times, so he's extremely mentally ill. It say in the videos they posted last week, it said he's black, of course. It rants about abuse in churches and racism in the workplace. They're using they won't say misogynistic and racist language. I noticed they keep on harping on trying to, say that he's a black nationalist. No, he's not. He is not part of no organization. That guy is a mentally ill person that had violent tendencies and carried them out. And now that I'm watching the framing of this, they making more of an issue about this and these fools that stormed the government. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm seeing the white supremacists. They all up here trying to act like, what he did was worse than anything they ever did. Say these people have done multiple of these, right? Multiple. And they just overlook that. Like for instance, they talking about this guy, but they not talking about how the guys that tried to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, they're not talking about how those guys literally got off for it. and nobody even talking about that. I said, boy, that's privilege, isn't it? You could try to kidnap a governor and still nothing happens to you, But so they quoting here one of his videos where he said we need to see more mass shootings. Said we need to see more. There's been, more mass shooting to make N-word understand it's not about the shooter, it's about the environment in which he has to exist. It said that speech was common throughout James' videos, which he repeatedly espoused hatred toward black Americans. So that's the part I want to get to. He had a video that I saw, he talked about George Floyd, okay? And he was saying it was George Floyd's fault. This, that. He sounded like a straight, raccoon in that video. So to say this dude hated everybody, even black people. He hated black people. They say in another video they posted, it said that he shared that he had post-traumatic stress and that he left his home in Milwaukee on March the 20th. And say in a trip eastward, he said he was heading to the danger zone. He said, it's triggering a lot of negative thoughts. He said, of course, I have a severe case of post-traumatic stress. He kept repeating that over and over in videos. So basically he was severely mentally ill with violent tendencies that he acted out on. Now, they said preliminary information indicated James mentioned homelessness. It said New York City and its mayor on online posts. It said NYPD Commissioner Keechant Sewell said, as a result, she said the city would increase the mayor's security. They said police released the photos. They said including the one from the YouTube channel. It said keys belonging to a U-Haul had been rented under his name in Philadelphia and were found among the shooter's possessions at the shooting scene in Brooklyn. He said the videos give insights of James's path to the Northeast. He said he arrived in Philadelphia March the 25th after stops in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Pittsburgh, and Newark, New Jersey. But this guy has been on YouTube for a while. And when I seen that guy's picture, like when he had the shades on, I said, wait a minute. This guy had been on YouTube before. He's popped up, these videos, right? I mean, anybody that's been around a while know that guy's been on YouTube. But let me say something about YouTube in itself and some of these people that come to your channel, okay? Content creators, you need to be real careful and take responsibility of your words, because there are people, as you could see here, who is severely mentally ill. And I'm going to tell you about men. Men could be real dangerous more than women in a lot of ways when they have that mentally illness with the tendency of violence, and stirring those kind of men up. Because I heard one of his videos where he was just ranting and raving about black women. And that video just really was disturbing me because how much hate he was just spewing about black women. Now, is some black women do things that's not right? Sure, of course. We know that. Just as much as they got some black men out here not doing things that's right. But what this guy was saying, it's just a venom that he was spewing. It makes me go back to some of the content that's coming out of the manosphere. And as of recent, I was wondering why everybody was making videos saying they were leaving the manosphere. I said, why is that? I think Mediocre Tutorials has said it. I think O'Shea said it. A lot of people said they were leaving the manosphere because the manosphere, what's happened with it now, in my opinion, is drew a certain crowd of people that I don't think none of those guys want to be attached to personally. And then on top of that, because of these kind of people that tried to show up and attach themselves to that kind of content, what it said now the feds were, paying attention to incels. And I think for those guys to say, okay, I'm done with that. I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want my name attached to that. I would agree that was a good move for those guys to say, hey, I don't want nothing to do with that manosphere. That's not what I came in to talk about, So what I'm saying is, even in certain ways that I move, right? I move a certain way online because I understand some people that's talking to you on the screen or even making videos. Some of these people not wrapped too tight, ladies and gentlemen. They're not. I won't argue with nobody on here. I won't, because some people you argue with, you thinking you just trying to get a point across. And them people are certified loons, and they got time. They got time to find you. They got time to do everything. You understand what I'm saying? People that make videos at you don't even try to respond to a lot of it. Just keep making your content. Why? Because you don't know who these people are. Even the way I move now, even if we do some sort of, let's say like trips or something like that, and I'm there, but I'm not there. Well, I do it like that because you don't know who shows up on trips either. You really don't know. And plus, I'm trying to stay busy. I'm trying to do your content and things like that, because some people think that on these, tours, oh man, I'll be hanging with Phil for a week. No, you're going to be with the tour guide. I see you though. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to come chill with you. I eat with you, all kind of things. I will do that, but I'm not going to be there all the time. No, because I just have other things to do. But it's just certain safety things that we have to, put in place as well. Now I didn't used to think like that, but things happen where I had to move like that. Right. So when you're making content stirring up some of the lowest common denominators out there, which are guys that some of them, like I said, especially, when you come to the content. And I remember a video that I had posted, like a flashback video where I had interviewed, forgot the sister name, and she called herself the proud side chick or whatever. And in the interview, she said that she had been touched as a child about 5 different times. And because of her behavior now, I understood why her behavior at that time was the way it was due to her past and what happened to her as a child. And I had people in the comment section, you let her off the hook. You were supposed to go in on her. You were supposed to tell her how it is and tell her off. And I'm like, why would I tell her off when she revealed that to me in an interview? Why would I do that? Or another interview I posted, I think it was from a long time ago when I interviewed Crystal and Carrison. Oh, you let her just talk over you. You let her do this. You let her do that. There's times in the interview I did push back against Crystalline, but they were mad that I didn't call Crystalline out her name and and say all kind of vile and ugly things to Crystalline. I don't care if I disagree with you. I'm not going to disrespect, a brother or a sister in my community, even if I thoroughly disagree with you. I'm not up here to abuse on women. That's not what I'm up here to do. Even if I disagree with a woman, that's not what black men are supposed to be doing, especially black men in my position where people are listening, people are watching, young brothers could be watching, right? Young sisters could be watching. I don't want to show them the example of, oh, this is how you treat women in the community. You just talk down to them, talk crazy, do it instead of trying to talk to them in love and try to, show them a corrective way to do things. No, you up there just talking down, talking crazy, whatever. And that sort of thing is stirring too many people up. And what I'm telling you going to happen is YouTube going to crack down on it. I see it coming. All that content like that, or, people are asking for, I've said this repeatedly. People are asking for all kind of marriage advice from people that's not married. People are, single mothers are asking for advice at certain times. And people don't even want to engage with single mothers. Listen, if you don't want to engage with a single mother, then why would you even comment on them in relationships? Because let's call it what it is. 80% of the children in the black community are born in single parent households, and single means not married. Doesn't mean the dad isn't there. It just means not married, right? But there are some situations the dad isn't there. Well, there could be situations where maybe the guy has a child, she has a child or whatever, and they could get together. But when you spewing this rhetoric about, oh, every single mother is evil out here and that's not something we should be consuming. But when you say these things, see, the content creators could say what they want because some people say things to run up the check. I understand. Listen, I understand the game more than most. Some things I won't do and say to run up a check, even though I could, right? I could. The most extreme thing to do, you can get a check. But what is the lasting things you're doing to your community, but you ran up a check? Are you kind of fueling, not to say you did it, but are you fueling a guy like this by some of the rhetoric you're spewing, but in your personal life, you don't even talk like that? Because a lot of them don't. When you meet them, they just as nice. They treat women right. They do everything right. But online, they turn into a character to run up a check. We have to be more responsible as people with a voice because we don't want to stir up people like this one. You know what I'm saying? About certain rhetoric that we shouldn't be spewing. Because once again, yes, YouTube took the channel down. Fine. But, it's a but. If you were communicating with the guy in the comments and bigging him up when he was making those statements, YouTube still got the videos. They still, even though they took the channel down where we can't see it, they still got the channel. They still got all the comments. They got everything. So if the feds wanted to see, hey, who's on there agreeing with him doing all this or bigging him up, they can say, oh, these accounts come from this IP address. This is where they located. Okay. And then what if the feds just show up knocking on the door and say, hey, we got these comments that you left, like encouraging this guy to do this. So, we need to holler at you. And then on top of that, with the situation, the FBI knew who this guy was. They knew. So people asking questions like, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? I know there's been some things said about people feel it's fishy, but I can't get into that. I'm not on this platform. Now I can get in more to that on our website, which our website, Lord bless, should be fully relaunching first week of May. I'm glad about that. That way I can really talk about some things I can't talk about on YouTube. But y'all just have to be, I always say, just please be responsible with your platform. Just be responsible. That's all. I don't want that kind of follower that's crazy. I don't want that kind of follower. I don't want them to come to my platform thinking this is a place for them. They can feel comfortable. Now, all the people that I have met in the street in the years I've been doing this have been great people, awesome people, all of them. I ain't met not one and say, "Oh Lord, I don't know about him. I don't know about her." And all of them have been, great black people, You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of people I want following me on my platform. I'll stay growing slow and steady. I do that. You know, I don't have to have the big explosion, you know, because I don't need a cult following like that. Because when you get a cult following, sometimes, you know, certain people you don't want following you. So what if something that a content creator said maybe set this guy off, and they can link it back? You know, they could take your channel too if it's that serious, and you was having that kind of communication with the guy. So we just, as content creators, especially in the Black community, let's just be responsible, you know, with our content, because you never know who's watching. Now, I don't blame nobody for what he did. He's responsible for himself. But I know the influence of what we do on these microphones. I know it is a big influence, definitely a big influence. If the little influence I have has helped me get my name throughout the world, helped me get on national TV in South Africa, helped me get on national TV in Kenya and other places I've been going, then other people have influence too as well. So please just be responsible. And all of the hatred of Black men and Black women, that content really needs to go, because something may happen with that too. And when you have these men out here who's not getting women, let me finish up on that. When men aren't getting women, they get really concerning, because when they can't get women, they become very, 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 very hateful toward women. And they turn into Elliot Rodger. Okay. Because they can't get a woman. Elliot Rodger went add out the tool because he could not get a woman. He was mad. He seen a Black man with a white woman. He couldn't get a white woman. So he was pissed off. There's a lot of these dudes that's in these comment sections of some of these content creators that's pushing all this, hatred for Black females. Listen, I'm not saying Black females are out here doing everything right. I'm not saying that. And you could talk about the behavior, but when it turns into hatefulness, when it's not constructive. When every other word you're calling them the B word, every other word, this B, that B, like you're not turning into anything constructive at that point. If that's what I saw every other word you saying that word, and these guys, yeah, they this, they that, they that. You don't know who you talking to. You just don't know. So just consider that when you're making your content. That's the only thing that I'm saying, because see, it'll get real for you when them folks show up at your door talking about, hey, you made these videos and this happened. They say they always watching you. So we want to come talk to you. Like, well, what's the point of you that's when you'll get shook. I'm telling you, it could become real world for you making these videos. People think it's a game out here making content. It's not, because trust me, them folks paying attention to all of us and what we say and what we do because we have influence. That's why. So use your influence responsibly. Because like I said, some people is not wrapped too tight. It's in these comment sections. But with that being said, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. You joined us. Make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll know exactly when we post another podcast. Click the like button. That's very, very important. And leave a comment. We want to know what you think. Your comment is very, very important to us. So let us know what you think about this guy here. I still want to know more of his background, though, because they kind of hiding his background. Like, where is he really from? I'm curious about that. Where is he really from? So if y'all eventually find out, let me know, because I'm just real curious about that. So once again, we appreciate you stopping by, and see you next time.